There we go. Right, perfect. Hopefully I'm in shot here. Perfect. Good. Let's have you standing nice and comfortably onto your feet, standing up nice and tall. There we go. A bit more light on the subject. There we go. Stand up nice and tall. Just start circling your shoulders. Let's just start working through the shoulders and just opening up through there. Each time you circle your shoulders up, thinking about lengthening your spine and standing up a little bit taller. And the more your spine starts to lengthen and draw up towards the ceiling, the more you're thinking about stretching up through your legs and possibly maybe thinking about drawing up through the arches of your feet as well. So if we can get some engagement, obviously the arches are not going to properly raise up, but think about lifting the arches and you'll just feel a little bit of connection going on through those deep abdominals there as you start to feel them lifting up. Good. Now try and keep that connection with the arches of your feet. Try and think about lifting them up, almost as if your hands are attached to pieces of string that you're sort of lifting and drawing those arches up. And then if you think about relaxing your arms, those arches are relaxing back down. See if you can feel anything happening through those deep core muscles. So just imagine lifting your arms up, draw it up, and then floating the arms down and letting them release. We're going to make the arms a little bit bigger. So think about drawing one arm up, and at the same time lifting through the arches of your feet and then lowering the arm back down again. Good. Other side, lift, draw all the way up through the arches of your feet. Feel those abdominals start to engage and lower back down again. Good. Let's breathe in, lift, and breathe out as you lower back down. Good. Breathe in, lift. And breathe out, lower back down. Now hopefully we've got a little bit of connection going on through the arches of the feet and going on through your abdominals. And what I want you to think now is the next time you lift your arm up, as well as lifting the arches of your feet, drawing in with your tummy, I want you to do a little squeeze of your bottom. So you're pushing your hips forwards a little bit, so everything's engaging around the pelvis. And then as you lower down, keep the arches lifted, but just release your bottom muscles. So we're squeezing up with your bottom and then releasing with your bottom. Bit of a weird one, but give it a go. Squeeze, think about drawing in and then release as you lower down. Don't worry if you've forgotten which bit of breathing you're supposed to do. Just make sure you are breathing. Don't hold your breath. We're going to breathe in as you lift up and squeeze, draw in, and then breathe out as you lower your arm down and release your bottom, but keep your arches lifted. It's an interesting one. Okay, we're going to both arms. So keep thinking about lifting up through the arches of your feet. Keep thinking about drawing in through your abdominals. And we're going to take a nice breath in. We're coming up onto your tiptoes as you raise up. And then lowering down nice and gently through your feet as you come down. Good. Breathe in, come up. And breathe out as you come down. Lovely. Two more. Breathe in, coming up. Watch your ankles don't try to roll out. So if you've got any sort of weakness through the ankles, what they'll want to do is sort of bow out and roll out. So try and draw a straight line up with your ankles as you go up and keep that straight line as you come back down again. Let's do one more. Drawing that straight line with the ankles. Keep drawing up and in with your abdominals and lower back down again. Perfect. Let's take one arm and circle it. Make sure you've got space. Circle it all the way around. Try and draw the biggest circle you can. Now, if your shoulders are quite stiff, you might end up having to bring it down towards the side. So bring it up and bring it down towards the side. If you can go all the way around, see if you can rotate. So you're imagining that your chest bone is coming around towards the side, but your hips stay facing forward. So we're getting this rotation through the middle part of your spine there. Push the hips forward, rotate round. So you'll feel the muscles engaging down through your obliques to your waist muscles there. See if you can circle that arm round, keep it rotating round. Good. And then we're going on to the other side. So rotate the arm round, allow your chest to come round as the arm goes back, keep the hips facing forwards. So you're almost going to have to counter rotate with this part of your pelvis. So your hips are almost sort of pushing into it as you take your arm back, pushing your hip forward a little bit. And that's what's getting the engagement of the muscle. Lovely. Good, and we'll try and bring both arms in. So we're getting that rotation. It's like we're swimming the backstroke. Okay, so let your spine rotate, hips stay forward. So we're getting that lovely rotation through the spine, working through the shoulders. And again, like I say, if your arm doesn't go all the way back, bring it down towards your side if you need to. So rotating round. Lovely. You should feel some engagement through these parts of the abdominals as you're doing it. Good. Okay, let your arms relax. Soften through the shoulders, give them a little bit of a shake out. Let's just wake up through the legs. So we're just going to walk on the spot, one foot then the other, coming right up onto your tiptoe as you're walking through. That's it. Give a real big push into your toes so you can see if you can get a bit of a stretch through the soles of your feet. Okay, trying to keep the hips nice and level so there's none of this going on. So think about drawing in, creating that stability through the pelvis. Lovely. Let's see if we could do it lifting the whole leg up. So get yourself balanced onto one side, lift the leg 90 degrees, pop it back down. As your toe goes down, do that little sort of bop, one foot to the other, and then lift onto the other leg. And that way we can keep the pelvis still. What happens is if you don't do that sort of little walk through and you just put that foot down, what will happen is you'll feel you need to lean onto the other foot in order to lift up. But by doing this through the feet, we're able to keep the pelvis nice and level. So draw in through your tummy, lift up, pop the foot down, toe goes down, we swap the feet round. And as we do that, we're lifting the other leg up. Toe goes down, just walk through the feet there, drawing the leg up. That's it, good. Be nice and strong through the shoulders. Pull your shoulder blades back, lift the spine, so neck extending all the way up to the ceiling. Bringing the arm in now, so opposite leg, opposite arm, stretch, really reach up as you come down, swap through the feet, really stretch and reach. Oops, hold that balance as it comes down. There we go. Ooh. I think I've got wobbly floorboards. That's what I'm going to say. Hold in tight, draw, slow it down if you do get a little bit wobbly. And let's do one more on each side. Swap through the feet. Draw in, there we go, slowly bring it up, and then swap through the feet, and draw up, good. Last one, perfect. Roll your shoulders, shake that all out, stand towards the edge of your mat, feet hip width apart, knees nice and loose, stand up nice and tall through the spine, shoulders around into back pockets. You're drawing in with your tummy, lengthening up through your neck, and we're just going to drop the chin slightly down towards the chest. Feel all those bones opening through your neck, so you might feel a nice stretch as you come down, especially if it's feeling quite tight through the muscles. Then start to roll the upper part of your spine forwards. So you're bringing your nose in towards your tummy button, so we're keeping everything nice and close to the body, which means you'll switch on through your bottom muscles and keep them switched on as you roll yourself down. And the hips don't start to move until you've used that last part of your low back. And we're rolling all the way down, so we've kept it nice and slow, all the way down towards the mat. On the way back up, straighten through the legs, make the knees go straight but not locked. Bring your hips back on top of your knees as soon as you can, so you've really squeezed in through your bottom muscles, and then you're restacking one by one, all the way up through your spine. Low back, middle back, upper back, roll the shoulders into your back pocket, stand up nice and tall. This time as you go down, we're going to stay down at the mat, so walk your hands forwards, we're going to end up on all fours. So standing up nice and tall, shoulders into back pockets, chin towards your chest, slowly peeling yourself forward one by one, really opening up that upper part of your back, work through the middle part. Don't let your hips start to go back until you've really focused in on getting that lowest part of your back moving. Let your hips rotate round as you roll down towards the floor. There we go. Reach down towards the floor and then just walk your hands forwards and bring your knees nice and comfortably down onto the mat. So we are in all four positions here. So shoulders are directly over your wrists, hips directly over your knees. Let's just open up through the back again. So tuck under with your hips, push your spine up. And then breathe out, sink down, lift the hips, lift the chest. Just enjoy getting that movement going through your spine. So this is just nourishing all of your discs and muscles, joints. Just getting that movement going through. So you breathe in, push up, and breathe out, sink down and through. Lift the hips, lift the chest. Good. Breathe in, tuck under, lift. And breathe out as you sink through. Last one. Okay, with your hands, you're going to take them down onto the mat, onto your elbows. Put your hands together so you can just either just put your fists together or pop your hands together, whichever feels good. Your bottom is now high towards the ceiling. What we're going to do from here, you might need to adjust the position of your knees. If I show you, first of all, we're going to tuck under with the hips. So we go from sticking up like this to tuck under. As you tuck under, your hips carry you forwards, and we're lowering down so that we're coming chin over your hands. Now, if your hands are too close and your chin comes over your hand and your bottom is still high, you need to either make your knees go further back or take your hands further back so that we end up in this mini plank position as you come down. So once you're here, the abs are all switched on. Shoulders are working a little bit, but we're really working through your abs. And then we're coming back out. I'm not going to get you to hold it, so, well, not yet. So the movement is breathe out, tuck under, roll your hips forward, bring your chin over your hand. Don't let your shoulders sneak up. Think about creating that length through your neck, and then roll yourself back out. So we're going to work with the breathing. You're going to breathe out as you come forwards and down, and breathe in as you roll yourself back up again. And when we come back up, bottom is high, so that we can create that rolling movement to start again. So really switch on through your bottom muscles. So squeezing your bottom. The more you squeeze, the more it pushes your hips forwards, brings your center of gravity forwards, and we lower the chin down towards the hands, and then roll yourself back up again. Good. So like I say, you will be feeling stuff going on in your shoulders, but I really want you to feel it happening in your abs. If you are not lowering down far enough, then your abs won't kick in. But if you lower too far down and you end up collapsing onto the mat, then your abs are obviously not doing anything either. So we're trying to create this flat tabletop position. So the tabletop goes between your shoulders and your hips. There we go. Couple more. So breathe out, tuck under, come down, and breathe in as you come up. Good. Breathe out, tuck under and come down. Finish up with this one. As you come back, bring your hands back and sit back onto your heels if you can do, and just leave your arms stretched out in front. So you're creating a little bit of a stretch there. Good. Lovely. Okay, we're going to progress that move on in a second, but I think what we'll do is we'll give you a rest from that one first of all. Come onto your back. Let's open up in the other direction. So let's go into our shoulder bridges. Onto your back, knees hip width apart, hands nice and relaxed down by your side. And just take note that your spine is in a nice neutral position, so you've got that little arch through the low part of your back. We're switching on through our deep abdominals, and we're going to just rotate the hips back towards you as if you're pushing your spine down towards the mat. When you've gone as far as you can, switch on through your bottom muscles and peel your spine up and away. We're just opening the spine up in that other direction now. And then very gently just peel yourself back down again, one by one as you rotate down. Good. And once your pelvis has made contact, tilt the hips back and round. Here we go, we tilt. Squeeze through the glutes. Use your glutes, use your hips to push you up towards the ceiling, and then lower back down one by one. Really control the spine so you're making each vertebra make contact in order. Don't let go of your hips and your pelvis until that last vertebra's made contact. And make sure you return to neutral. So we've got that little arch through the spine. You start again, you roll the hips back so you're pushing that arch back into the mat. Squeeze through your glutes, peel yourself up. Feet are nice and light so there's no pressure going onto the mat. If I was to ask you to lift your feet up now, you wouldn't see a pressure shape of your foot in the mat. There we go, lower back down nice and gently. Just finish up the one that you're doing and then bring your knees in towards your chest. Good. Just circle the knees around. Circle them one way and then circle them the other way. Good. Okay, keep your feet there. Maybe cross your ankles over if it's comfortable for you, and put your hands back down by your side. From here, we're going to switch on our deep abdominals again. So we're going to think about drawing your pubic bone towards your tummy button, but not in a way that we're sort of using our hips and our knees to fling the legs. It's going to be a very slow, subtle way. So we're thinking about drawing that pubic bone. So you're drawing even tighter with that band. Imagine you're squeezing really tightly into that pair of jeans, and you're squeezing down with your tummy button, and at the same time drawing up so that your pubic bone is coming in towards your tummy button. So the movement is about that, and then release. If you're looking at your screen now, this is the movement that we're looking for. So I'm moving what? An inch, 2 inches? Okay, good. And it's a very slow, controlled movement. Draw that pubic bone in towards your tummy button and release. And for all it's a very small movement, it's a very strong movement. So you might notice that as you're doing it, if you're really trying hard, your shoulders start to lift up. If that's happening, have a word with your shoulders. Tell them to go back onto the mat and just relax through your shoulders. Just your tummy button working. Just that pubic bone drawing up towards your tummy button. Might feel your pelvic floor starting to get involved as well. That's fine. Nothing wrong with switching on the pelvic floor doing this one. And then relax. Good. Squeeze it in and relax it. There we go. Hopefully we're starting to feel a little bit of abdominal burn going on down there. There we go. Last one. Draw it in and release it. Pop your feet down onto the mat. Lengthen your legs away. Lengthen your arms away. Give yourself a little bit of a stretch out. Fantastic. Good. Let your arms relax down by your side. Let's just work a little bit of mobility through the hips now. So back into our neutral position. Feet bent up, feet are hip width apart again this time. And what we're going to do is we're going to raise one leg up onto coffee table. From here, you're going to let the whole leg, so from the hip, your leg's dropping down towards the side, as if your leg's creating this arc shape. Now, as you do that, watch the other knee doesn't try to join in. It might want to either follow or drop to the other side. It's got to stay facing up towards the ceiling. So the movement is breathe out, let the knee drop down towards the side. Breathe in, let it come back up again. Let's do 5 on this side. Breathe out, let it drop down. Breathe in, let it come back up. If you need to, put your hands on your pelvis to make sure that the pelvis is not trying to get involved as well. So we don't want any rolling happening through there. It's just slow and controlled through the hips. If it feels a little bit weak in your hip, you might start to arch your back, really engage in. If it's starting to arch your back a little bit, don't drop the legs so far out. Just go a smaller distance so you can control that. When you finish the 5 on that side, pop the leg down onto the other side. 90 degrees with the hip, 90 degrees with the knee. And as you breathe out, drop the leg out. That's it, and breathe in, draw it back in again. So you're in control. What goes down must come back up again though. So gravity is on our side as we're taking the leg out, but then you're going to have to work hard to draw the leg back up again. And the work needs to be coming from these abdominals. So try not to be lifting the ribs, lifting your shoulders as you do it, or any extra arching happening through the back. Only that natural neutral arch that we should have, just maintaining. Good. When you've done your 5 on that side, then just let the leg relax back down to neutral position. If you need to, just roll your pelvis a little bit if you feel a little bit of tension building up through there. And we're going to increase the mobility this time. So we're going back to the first leg. Goes back up onto coffee table. This time, as you drop the leg out, at the same time as dropping it out, I want you to lengthen it. So it goes out and long. And then as it comes back up, you scoop it back up to 90 degrees. Breathe out as it drops out and lengthens. And breathe in as it comes back up. Good. Breathe out, drop it out and lengthen. And draw in as it comes back up. There we go. Breathe out and lengthen. Finish up your 5 on that side. Really being nice and aware that the other leg, it has this tendency of wanting to get involved. Really keep the leg, so the foot is still in contact with the floor, needs to be facing up towards the ceiling. Let's go for the other side. Breathe out as the leg drops out and lengthen. And breathe in, scoop it back up, 90 degrees. Breathe out, drop the leg out and lengthen. Breathe in, draw it back in, bring it back to center. Breathe out, drop and lengthen. Breathe in, draw it back in. So we're just creating that little arc of movement. Lengthening the leg means the abdominals have to work a little bit harder. There we go. Breathe out and lengthen. Breathe in, draw it back in. Perfect. Bring the legs back into neutral when you've done your 5 on each side, and just roll the pelvis forwards and backwards. Just rock it, tuck it under, arch it away. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to switch on a little bit more through the upper part of the back. Let's put the hands behind your head. Now, Before you do anything, switch off all the muscles in your neck. Have a word with them. Tell them just to relax. If you need to, just open the mouth a little bit, relax your jaw so you're not tempted to grit your teeth or anything like that that's going to recruit all those muscles in your neck. So keep your head nice and heavy, like a bowling ball in your hand. Now, what I want you to do is think about sliding your shoulder blades down your back pocket, so they're going to come together a little bit, but the focus movement is about stretching them down your spine as if they're sliding down the mat towards your toes. The more they switch on, and now I want you to think about pushing your chest bone down, so the bottom of your chest bone here, down into the mat. So we're going to create this sort of lever to lift the head up. Okay, breathe in, draw your abdominals in, and as you breathe out, work through the chest bone to lift your head up. So the ribs are coming down towards your hips and then lowering it back down again. Okay, so none of the work's coming through your neck. And this is one we have to keep practicing, because whenever we start this exercise, everybody always draws all the neck muscles in. So you're gonna have to be very good to yourself and keep telling the neck muscles to relax. Take your focus more down to the rib muscles, or the bottom of the rib cage, and the muscles that are there between your hip bones and your ribs, and think about drawing those together. So think about the space that's between rib and hip here. Think about as you come up, you're trying to squeeze that space in and then release it. So slide your shoulder blades down, breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, draw your ribs down towards your hips and then lower back down. So think about just placing the head back down gently. Don't just drop it onto the floor again. Breathe out, draw up, and breathe in as you lower back down. Good. Breathe out, lift, and breathe in as you come back down. Good. Breathe out, lift, and breathe in, come back down. If you feel that the muscles are not working too much in your neck and you've got the hang of this, try it with your arms beside you. Breathe out and lift. Reach with your hands so you're getting that extra lift, and breathe out as you come back down. Good. If you're really feeling like your neck's, there's nothing you can do, it just constantly keeps switching in, pop a pillow underneath your head. That's another way to make it a little bit easier for you. So breathe out, lift, lengthen, and breathe in. Come back down. Breathe out, lengthen, and breathe in, come back down. Good. If you can progress this to the next one, we're going to hold it in the up position. If it's hurting your neck, carry on going up and down. But if you can, breathe out, come up. Hands are beside you. We're going to pulse the arms up and down. So breathe in for 5 pulses. Breathe out for 5 pulses. Keep looking up towards the corner of your room. As soon as you feel your neck muscles are working and it's now not working through your abdominals or your shoulder muscles, lower yourself back down again. We're not going to count how many we stay up for. We're just going to work with the breathing pattern. When you're ready again, switch off those neck muscles. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out. Slide your shoulder blades down. Really draw your ribs in towards your hips. Breathe in for 5. Breathe out for 5. Really work through the abdominals. As soon as you feel your neck starting to join in, roll yourself back down again and place the head back down. Good. Let's do one more. Breathe in to prepare. Draw down with the abs. Breathe out. Roll yourself up. Breathe in for 5. Breathe out for 5 pulses. Breathe in for 5. Breathe out for 5. And again, as soon as you feel those abs kicking and feel your neck kicking in and it's not focusing on the abs, roll yourself back down again. Super. Give yourself a little bit of a stretch out. Legs away, arms away, stretch. Oh, super. Okay, come onto your side. I'm going to get you just to come onto your elbow if you can. So elbow needs to be placed directly underneath your shoulder. So we've got this nice straight line going down here. Make sure it's not too far out. This is going to put too much pressure on your shoulder. Here we're in a nice strong position. Now push your hips forward. So we're trying to create this straight line down through the body and not a little sink through the hips here. Lift your chest forwards, squeeze your bottom, lift the legs forwards in this position here. Okay, we're just going to wake up those waist muscles a little bit more. So we've worked on the front part, we're now going to work on the side parts. So you're going to think about allowing your spine just to sink down towards the mat, and then the lift back up comes from your waist. What it doesn't do is work from your elbow. If your elbow, you can do this, work through the shoulder. All you're going to do is end up giving yourself a sore shoulder. Keep this strong and in the same position. The movement comes from here. We sink through the waist, lift through the waist. And as you lift, that top leg is lengthening. Sink through the waist, lift through the waist, draw in through the tummy. Imagine you're lengthening that top leg, so you're rocking off your hip and then sink back down. Good, lift through the waist. Okay, if it helps, bring the arm in. So you're going to keep your arm resting on your top leg. As you squeeze up through your waist, lift that top arm up and over. So we're now creating this nice long straight spine, and then let the waist sink back down again. Good, breathe in, lift and lengthen. And breathe out, sink back down. Good, breathe in. And breathe out as you sink back down. Watch your shoulder doesn't start taking the work. Draw through the waist, strong through the waist. So almost as you're lifting up through the waist, you're lifting the pressure off of your shoulder, and you're keeping the pressure off as you roll back down. Good, breathe in, lift and stretch. And breathe out as you sink back down. Last one on this side. Breathe in, lift through the waist, lift. And then release as you're coming back down. Super. Good. Take yourself off of that elbow. Swing your legs around. Let's pop onto the other side. Set up in neutral. So, elbow underneath your shoulder. Spine nice and straight, so push the hips forward. Make sure you're not slumped back through your pelvis. Lift up through this position here. Think about gauging through the waist. So this muscle here is the one that we're working. And we're going to start, just let the arm relax first of all. Lengthen through your neck. You're going to let your hip and your waist sink towards the mat. Now lift through the waist and sink. Good. Lift through the waist and then sink back down again. Good. So if you're feeling the pressure coming into your shoulder, obviously you're leaning in here a little bit too much, so you need to lift through the waist. Really switch on through that muscle there. Imagine someone's lifting you through the rib cage and then letting it lower back down. Good. Lift and lower, and bring the arm in if you need to. Lift, bring the arm up and over. That will really help you lift through the rib cage and open up through the ribs, and then lower and come back down again. Good. Breathe in, lift. Watch you're not pushing into your elbow. Think about lifting yourself up and away from your elbow. Breathe in, lift, lengthen, stretch, and then release back down again. Good. Couple more. Breathe in, lift. Remember the muscle that needs to be working is this deep waist muscle there. And then lowering yourself back down again. Lift. And then lower back down. Last one, really go for it. Lift, squeeze everything in like it's a corset coming round through the waist. And then relax back down again. Perfect. Let's just get you into sitting. And we're going to tuck the legs round in this position. If you can get to this position, and we'll just open up and just give yourselves a nice little stretch through your waist. So if you can tuck one leg in front of you and one leg round behind, do that. If you can't do that, you can sit with your legs crossed and do this exercise, or prop yourself up on some pillows so you're sitting a little bit higher. That will also work. So the leg that is in front of you, the hand comes down towards your side here. Keep it level with your hips so it doesn't come too far forward. Other arm's going to lift towards the ceiling. So stretch. As you reach up and over, allow the ribs to shift. So you're coming over, and we're just going to lean over like this. If you want to get deeper into the stretch, you can allow that bottom arm to bend. And then come back up. So we're going to breathe out, come down. And breathe in, come back up. Breathe out as you come down. Really stretch. You get a lovely stretch feeling through that part of the body. And coming back up. Good. In your own time, just work with your breathing. Breathe in as you come back up, and breathe out as you go down. You can bend the elbow to get more of a stretch, or if you feel it's stretching enough, just come in like that, then that's fine. Okay, last one like this, then we're going to add the twist so we get it coming into our back as well. So as you come over now, as you're coming round, allow your ribs and your shoulders to come round to face square onto the edge of the mat. Really stretch over with your arms. So now you're getting that rotation coming through the whole part of your back. Breathe in as you come up and over. Breathe out, rotate and lengthen. Breathe in as you come up. Good. Breathe out. And breathe in, come back up. Good. Breathe out, lengthen. See if you can get just a tiny little bit further each time. Really stretch up towards the ceiling. Imagine it's pulling your spine over, so you're getting that lovely stretch. The last one, we're going to go down, we're going to hold it. So as you come down, hand comes towards the floor, hold the position. Keep stretching forwards with your arm and just hold that stretch in your back. Breathe in and breathe out. See if you can lengthen your hand away a little bit. Breathe in. And breathe out and lengthen. Breathe in to hold. Breathe out to lengthen. See if you can get that extra stretch. And then breathe in and we'll float the arm back up and over. Super. Swing your legs over if you can. Spin around. Okay, we're coming back into this position here. Good. Okay. So the leg that is folded in front of you, that hand comes down towards your side. The leg that's tucked behind you, that arm goes up towards the ceiling. The hand that is here on the mat, either keep it nice and straight or allow the elbow to bend, whichever you need to do for the stretch. So let's lengthen and breathe out as you come over and breathe in as you come back. Breathe out, come over, bend the elbow if you need to. If you bend the elbow, you get much more of a stretch, but you might be getting a stretch without bending the elbow. It all depends how tight your waist is. So do what you feel you need to do. Breathe out, lengthen. Breathe in as you come back up. Good. Breathe out, lengthen. Breathe in, come back up. Lovely. 2 more like this, and then we'll add the twist in. There we go. So the next one, we're going to add the twist. So as you come over, rotate so your shoulders come square onto the edge of the mat. Breathe in as you come back up and breathe out, come over and lengthen. Breathe in, come up. Good. Breathe out, lengthen. Breathe in as you come up. Breathe out and lengthen. Breathe in, come up. Hold it this time, so breathe out, lengthen. Drop your head down, stretch through the hand. Breathe in to hold. Breathe out, stretch your fingertips across. Breathe in. Breathe out, see if you can stretch some more. Breathe in to hold. Breathe out, last one. And breathe in, come back up. Perfect. Bring the legs out in front of you. Okay, we're going to have the legs nice and wide. Sit right up onto your sit bones if you can. Lengthen those legs out. If your hip flexors are hurting a little bit, again, stick a pillow underneath your bottom, lift it up so you take that pressure off your hips there. Up nice and tall through the spine. And when you're ready, drop your chin down towards your chest. From here, we can allow the pelvis to roll back off of your sit bones, so we're creating a nice curve through the spine. Keep dropping your chin down as if you're trying to put your nose towards your tummy button. When you've gone as far as your spine will allow you to go, then walk your hands forwards. Okay, and just hold that position. Breathe in and breathe out. See if you can just stretch your fingers forwards a little bit. Breathe in to hold and breathe out. See if you can reach forwards. Good. Breathe in to hold and breathe out, stretch forward. Last one, breathe in to hold. Breathe out, stretch those fingers forward and breathe in as you slide your hands back up. Come all the way up and sit up nice and tall. Perfect. Tuck one leg in. If your knee and your hip will allow you to tuck it right in, go for that. If not, just put it where it's comfortable. And if it really isn't comfortable to bend, you can do it with the leg stretched out. If you can tuck it in, let's go for tucking it in. Now pivot all the way around from your hips so you're facing towards the leg that's still out straight. From here, Lengthen through the spine and bend straight forwards from the hips. So there's no rolling down. It is literally a pivot from the hips. Your chest comes towards your knee. Walk your hands down your leg. So you might be somewhere near your knee. You might be somewhere near your ankle. You might be able to hook your hands around the bottom of your foot. Go where it's comfortable so that you've got a nice comfortable stretch going down the back of your leg. And again, hold your position. Breathe in as you hold it. Breathe out. See if you can just ask your back just to soften, lower and stretch. Breathe in to hold. Breathe out. Soften, lower, stretch. Breathe in to hold and breathe out. Last one. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, walk your hands back up through the leg. And when you're ready, swap the legs over. We go to the other side. So again, get yourself right up onto your sitting bones. We fold straight, well, twist towards the leg you're going towards, and then you fold forward straight from the waist. Drop your chest down towards your knee and walk your hands down through the leg as far as you're comfortable to go. Don't force them to go too far, just work with what works for you. Breathe in and hold your position, and breathe out. Ask your back to soften, lower and lengthen. Breathe in to hold. Breathe out, see if it'll soften, lower, lengthen, and breathe in to hold. Breathe out, see if you can stretch a little bit more, and on the next one we're going to walk the hands back up. Good, sitting up nice and tall. Perfect. Right, we're going back to those mini planks, and we're just going to progress them on that last little bit. Come onto your knee, elbows are onto the mat, and we're back into this position here. So feet and knees are hip width apart. Your elbows are in front of you and your hands are in front of you, so that when we come down into the plank position, you can just test that you're in that right position. So let's just start doing the movement we did at the beginning. So as you breathe out, tuck under with your hips, bring your tummy button forward, your shoulders come forwards and your neck lengthens as you put your chin over the top of your hands. And then breathe in as you come back up, roll up through the spine, stick your bottom up towards the ceiling. Good. Breathe out, tuck under, hips come forward, body comes forwards, lengthen through the neck as you come down, abs are switching on now, and breathe in as you come back up. Right, if this feels enough for you, and it's working your shoulders and your abs and you're happy with that, stick with it. If you need a little bit more of a challenge, or you're up for more of a challenge, the exercise goes, tuck under with your hips, you come down so your chin is over your hands, tuck your toes under, we walk one leg up, second leg up, first leg down, second leg down. Now, if you're watching the camera right now, as you lift the leg up, keep your bottom in that position. So don't be tempted. What happens is you usually do fine with the first leg, and as soon as you lift the second leg, this happens. So we need to keep this plank position. So as you walk up, it goes one leg up. Keep your hips strong. Second knee, first knee, second knee. And I suggest you come back out of it each time, so we're keeping that flowing movement happening through the spine. Tuck under, come down, walk, one leg, second leg, first leg down, second leg down, and coming out. Good. There we go, tuck under. Let's do two more. Walk, walk, down, down, come back out. Last one. Walk up, knee down, walk yourself back, come onto your bottom onto your heels, stretch your arms forward, really lengthen out through to your fingertips, stretch through your shoulders, lengthen through your spine. Good. Keep both hands going to the same side, walk them around to one side, keep your bottom down onto your heels if you can, and keep stretching. Good, keep breathing, don't hold your breath in this position. And then walk your hands around to the other side. Getting as far around as you can, keep your bottom down onto your heels, keep stretching, lower your head down, take that tension out of your neck. Fantastic. And gently come back up onto your knees. We're going to come right onto the knees, and we'll just stretch out through your hip flexors again. So let's come into this 90 degrees. Tuck under with your hips so that you're not relaxed like that. You're going to scoop under with your pelvis so we feel the stretch through the front of your thigh there. Okay. Just watch that everything's still at 90 degrees and you haven't started to lean forwards. Keep your hips stacked on top of your knee, and it's all about the squeeze of your bottom. Push your bottom forward. The more you push your bottom forwards, the more of that stretch you're going to feel through your thigh there. Good. Keep that stretch. When you're ready to take that front leg forwards now, and we're going to slowly transfer the weight over the knee you're bending on. So don't go too quickly because your kneecap's not going to thank you for it. So just very slowly lean yourself forward. So coming into this lunge position now. So we're getting a nice opening up through the hips. Keep your hips square onto the front of your mat. If you want more of a stretch, you bring your arms up towards the ceiling. If you find that's a little bit too much of a challenge, don't worry with this bit. It's just that extra stretch if you need it. Keep breathing. Hold it. A few more seconds. Good. And then lower the arms down if they're up. When you come back off the knee, push with the front leg. Slowly take your weight over your kneecap and swap the legs around. There we go. 90 degrees. There we go. Tuck under with the hips. Scoop under. Squeeze in through your glutes. And ears, shoulders, hips and knees all in line. If you were drawing a line down there, everything would be a nice straight line. Squeeze with your hips, push your hips under. There we go. We should be getting a nice stretch through the front of your thigh there. Just hold that. Good. And then when you're ready, you take that front leg forward. Slowly take yourself over the knee. And come down into that lunge position. If it's really uncomfortable for your knee, you can put a pillow underneath your knee. That will just soften the pressure there. So we're getting a nice stretch through the inside of the thigh as well as through the hip flexors through here. If you need that extra stretch, lift the arms up. You could look up towards your hands if you want to get a little bit more of a stretch. If your balance is good, hold it. Keep breathing. Try not to hold your breath as you do this one. Soften through your shoulders, but lengthen through the arms. That's it. And then let your arms soften back down, lower them down, and gently push with the front leg to bring yourself back over your knee. Okay, hands down. Let's get you up to standing by tucking your toes under. Let's go right up into that down dog position. Just soften both heels down towards the mat. See if you can get a nice stretch through there. If you feel you need to, just do a little walking movement. There we go, and just stretching out through the calf muscles. And then when you're ready, walk your feet in towards the center of the mat. Bring your hands back so that they are either side of your hands. You're at the bottom of your roll down. Lengthen through your knees, so you're pushing your knees up straight, but don't lock them. Tuck under with your hips, so the hips go forwards on top of your knees, and you're rolling up one by one through the spine, up nice and tall. Just circle your shoulders when you get to the top. Lovely. Circle those shoulders round. Take a nice breath in. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Keep pushing up as tall as you can. Take your arms off to one side and just enjoy that stretch through your side. Keep breathing. Just hold the stretch. And come back up to the center. Swap your hands around. Take the other hand over. Lengthen through the spine. Really stretch through your side there. Good, and then come back to center. Bring your arms down. Breath in as you bring up. And breathe out. Bend your knees, but give yourself a hug at the bottom. So hands come round onto opposite shoulders. Breathe in. Stretch everything up and lengthen. Breathe out as you bend your knees and wrap your arms around you. Breathe in. Come up. And breathe out. Give yourself a hug. Last one. Really stretch. Breathe in. Come up. Breathe out, come around, give yourself a hug, let your arms just relax and stand yourself up nice and tall. Excellent, well done everybody, hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you tomorrow is Thursday. We're on 7 till 8 tomorrow evening if you can join us then. Thanks guys.